Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Uhuru. We are going to South Africa in November. We're going to Namibia and South Africa. It's a two-for-oneer. It's the ultimate collab. Namibia and South Africa. We are going in November. Visit Danfo. That's DANFO. Africa. Again, please visit Danfo. DANFO. Africa to learn more. But yeah, we're going to hit up both countries and we're gonna have a great time. We are also rolling to Senegal. So we're going to Senegal in May for the Jazz Festival. May 27th through June 4th. Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, August 3rd to the 12th. Zanzibar in September 21st to the 30th. And then Namibia and South Africa, the collab, that's going to be in November 7th through the 18th. If you are interested in joining us, please visit Danfo, DANFO. Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, DANFO. Africa. We would greatly appreciate it. We love you. We thank you. Quick disclaimer. This platform, we are for diversity of thoughts, differing opinions, but let's remain respectful. Again, let's remain respectful. So, you're more than welcome to call in when I put the link in the chat room. You are more than welcome to call in. Good news, you guys. We got a break in the weather. Again, we got a break in the weather. If you guys don't know, here in Atlanta, it was freezing cold. I do not like the cold weather. I am not a, what's the term? What do these people say? I don't need 4 seasons. There we go. I don't need 4 seasons. I only need 1 season. So, well, 2. I could do spring and summer. But I personally just prefer I personally just prefer heat. I prefer the summer. So it's starting to warm up here in Atlanta a little bit. The weather was about 54 today. Last week we got snow, and I didn't like it. I did not like it. And my house is an older home. I know I keep telling you guys this. It's an older home. You hear the creaks and the cracks and everything. It was built in the late 1800s. So it gets cold. Like it's tough to keep this house warm. So like last week, I would just hibernate in my bedroom where I'm at right now. Usually when I do my videos, I'm in the, let me get this mic right. Usually when I do my videos, I'm in my dining room. I do my videos in my dining room. But I said, you know what? I need to just come in my bedroom, turn on my space heater, and do it here in my bedroom. And I'm gonna stay in my bedroom for a while. I have a whatchamacallit. I have a couple like guest bedrooms. So I was thinking like one of the bedrooms turned into like my podcasting media room, which I'm still gonna do. I just gotta do it, but right now we're nice and warm here in my bedroom. So hit the like button, guys. Again, as you come into this chat room, please hit the like button. Also make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Today's topic, exploiting the name of Native Americans as an excuse for America to be a free-for-all. And when we get to these conversations in regards to illegal immigration and lack of respect for borders, and guys, a little bit about myself, if you don't know me. I have citizenship in 3 countries: the US, Nigeria, and Sierra Leone. I have residency in Senegal. And these countries have immigration rules. They will deport you. You have to respect the borders, even if it's the borders of the colonizer. That's the argument. Well, these borders were drawn up by the colonizer, by Europeans at, the council, the Berlin Conference. I was about to say the Council of Nicaea, the Berlin Conference. Even if that's the case, they still have borders, and you respect the country's borders. And these countries enforce their borders and protect their borders. Trust me. But for some reason, when it comes to the United States of America, people want the U.S. to be a free-for-all. And it is the excuse that's commonly used is that this is Native American land and it was stolen from the Native Americans. And this is the problem I have with that argument. When I bought my house here in Atlanta, when you bought your house, when black folks was talking about buy back the block, let's be honest. Again, let's be honest here. When we was talking about buy back the block, when I bought my house, the furthest thing from our minds, all due respect to the Native American community, all due respect to my Native American brothers and sisters. And I'm not talking about you pretendians. I'm talking about real Native Americans, not you pretendians. All right. Not you. I ain't black. I'm Cherokee, not you. We're talking about real Native Americans. When I bought my home, when we was talking about buy back the block, the furthest thing from our mind was what Native American tribe once lived in this community before the white man came. That was the furthest thing from your mind, okay? Native Americans have some of the highest suicide rates, alcohol, drug addiction, highest drug addiction rates out of anybody. And I don't see none of y'all, correct me if I'm wrong, trying to help with the improve the plight of the Native American. Because again, when we got our big old houses, when we riding around the streets of America, the roads of America, in our nice cars or whatever, buying homes, buying land, buying back the block, the furthest thing from our minds is, hey, this land that we're on right now, the block that we buying back, this once used to be native land. So let me find out who the indigenous tribe of this land, who were the owners at one time. Let me find out who they are and let me see what I could do to help them. And ain't none of y'all thinking about that. Let's just be honest. So let's leave. Native Americans did have black slaves as well. So the 5 civilized tribes did have slaves, and then fought to keep those slaves from being recognized as part of the tribe and getting tribal status. Those are facts, but that's a different subject. So let's stop pretending that we actually care about the Native American tribes. No disrespect. I care about the humanity in everybody. But let's just keep it real. Again, let's just keep it real. Because I heard Brandon Johnson Trump ain't playing. Guys, you can say what you want about Donald Trump, but that man is a man of his word. Everything that he said he was going to do, he's doing. It's not even week 2 yet. Are we? No. Are we in week 2? Are we coming up on week 3? What week are we? No. It's not even. Not. It's only week 1. He got sworn in on the 20th, right? On Monday. He was sworn in on Monday, right? So we're just in week 1. And look at what he's doing. You can say what you want about him. Again, you can say what you want about him. He's doing what he said he was going to do, and you can't be mad at that. He's hitting the ground running. Period. Can't be mad. Oh, but Brandon Johnson, the mayor of guys, listen, even though the Bulldogs, even though we lost to Notre Dame, we coming back. And I'm just looking at my Georgia, I'm looking at my Bulldog, go Dogs, sick 'em. Roof, 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 roof. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago, is actually fighting and putting up a fight against the whole deportation process of illegal immigrants. And his argument is, well, Black Beauty, I didn't, but let me finish the story, then we'll see where Trumpcoin is trading at. And this is not financial advice. We'll get into that. But his main argument on why he's not going to turn in these illegal immigrants to Chicago is because this was once native land. But my question is, what do the illegal immigrants coming from the southern border have to do with the once native land in Chicago? Them completely different peoples. But again, that's his excuse. And it doesn't add up. And I'm pretty sure the indigenous groups of Illinois are probably not doing that well. The indigenous groups that are doing halfway decent are the ones that have access to casinos. So yeah, but that's that's my take on this whole, this is native land situation. Guys, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Somebody brought up Trumpcoin. We could take a look at it. But again, this is not financial advice. I am not endorsing Trumpcoin. But it's trading at $27 right now. It's already at, hold on one second. Again, this is not financial advice. It's trading at $27.41. It's at over a $5 billion market cap, which is crazy. I think when the bull market hits, again, I think when a bull market hits, and we're approaching a bull market, and again, this is not financial advice, Trumpcoin is gonna go crazy. I see Trumpcoin flipping like, in fact, it's close. It had actually flipped Pepe. Again, it had actually flipped Pepe. Now, will it flip Shiba or Doge? I doubt it. But I think the Trumpcoin has more room to run, if you ask me. Its high was $70. It's consolidating at $27.41. I mean, he's in office. It's his official coin. I think it's a good play for meme coin. Again, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Dynasty Mirror didn't say go buy it. But yeah, I mean, it has more room to run, if you ask me. Again, if you ask me. But guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. Well, yeah, if you bought at the top, yeah, of course you're gonna lose it. You're losing right now. If you bought at the top, of course. But guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, you're more than welcome to call in after the conversation. Please hit the like button. If you have not hit that like button, again, please hit that like button. If you have not hit the like button, but links in the chat room, call in, add to the conversation. If not, we'll go ahead and close out. Guys, links in the chat room. We're gonna call in. Call in. If not, we'll close out in about a minute or so. Hey, Black Beauty, you there? Hello.
Hey, sorry.
Hey.
What's going on? I figured I'd call in because I know people are calling. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. You're kind of muffled. You're kind of muffled a little bit. But go ahead. Hello.
Uh-oh. I think this one is better.
Hello. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I called in because I figured people were gonna call in, but you always off so quickly.
Black Beauty, you there?
No, I think I have the other thing playing in the background, the other page. Sorry.
Okay. Let me melanated alien royalty. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Melanated alien royalty. Unmute yourself. Hello. Go ahead.
Peace, Honest.
Alien royalty. Unmute yourself. You gotta turn off the back. You gotta turn off the replay.
Peace, Honest. You hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Peace, Honest.
You gotta turn off the playback.
Yeah, my fault.
Somebody has to play
No, I
back
just
off.
want to call in real quick. I think you should do a whole show on crypto and blockchain, not on specific coins, but just tell people how to get a wallet and KYC and stuff like that. Because this is about to be a huge opportunity coming up with regulation and everything. And I think people are finally starting to pay attention,
Right.
especially for our community.
No, I agree. We'll get back on crypto and blockchain too.
What is this conversation exactly? That's what I called in to ask you about because I don't get it from the title and the way you explained it. What is the conversation?
No, again, people trying to use the plight of the Native American to justify America being a free for all, specifically the borders and immigration. Like you ever heard somebody say that? You ever heard somebody say that we're all illegal immigrants?
Yeah, I mean technically because this is not necessarily the land that we're supposed to be in. Or yeah, I understand that.
So, do you think America should have open borders?
I mean, I feel people should be able to go wherever they want in the world, period.
Legally or illegally?
Legally, but it should just be a little bit easier. I don't think there should be so much restriction and so many, there are a lot of rules in terms of when people want to move around, in terms of the money they need in order to be able to get up and get visas. And I think that is a suppressing system that keeps African and even some Asian people from being able to move around. And it's unfortunate. Like every time you need to get a visa, you must have so much money to be able to get up and just travel and see somewhere else and maybe go and try to work somewhere else. I think that's a little bit stifling, don't you?
No, I think we should respect countries' borders, if you ask me.
Yeah, we can respect their borders, but at the same time, why do you have to have, you know, millions in your bank account to be able to get up and get a visa to go to Germany? You understand? Why do you have it? Just there are certain restrictions, and there are more restrictions for certain people, depending on what their nationality is and where they were born and where their passport is from. So I just think, it's not about America's free borders or whatever. I mean, I honestly, what do you think?
No, I just think we should respect. I think borders are in place, and there are rules that people should abide by when crossing them.
Yeah,
And if you don't abide by them, there's circumstances. I mean, there's
yeah.
Right. So that's all.
The
And
same thing goes.
trying to use Native Americans as an example to justify,
But who's
not
doing that?
following. I hear it all. I hear. You know what? I hear it mainly from black people.
Example.
I hear it mainly from black people. In fact, I give you a prime example. Brandon Johnson, the mayor of Chicago.
Okay.
So he said he's not going to abide by Trump's deportation rules, and he said the reason why is because this was once Native American land.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
stolen. And I'm just like, bro, like the black people in Chicago are complaining about this illegal immigrant situation. You talking about you're not going to abide by it because Chicago was once Native American land. He literally said that.
Does he have some kind of sponsorship with Native American community? Do they put money in his pocket?
No, Black Beauty. You know these Native American communities. They are alcohol, drug addiction is some of the highest. Poverty. I mean, come on.
That's true.
So it's like don't pretend like you care about the Native American community to justify you not listening to Trump as far as deportations go. That was my point. I just thought that was weird. In fact, let me see if I can find the actual clip. But I just thought I thought it was crazy. I'm like, what do illegal immigrants coming from the southern border have to do with the indigenous tribes of Chicago?
Nothing.
Right. I just thought, here, you know what? Let me pass it to Castronova because he's in Chicago. Castronova, go ahead.
Peace to everybody on the panel. Thanks for letting me up, Donnie.
Hey, now you're in Chicago. Did you hear that speech by did you hear when Brandon Johnson made that comment?
Man, I don't listen to that bozo talk, bro. Brandon Johnson's a clown, man. I can't believe we gotta call him a black man. Listen, I heard the argument. I heard people say, this was Native Americans' land and we invaded their border. People have a fabricated version of history. This was not a country when white folks first came here. Native Americans was head hunting, killing each other, warring tribes. White folks came over. Y'all started to war with them. Y'all lost. You lost your land. And now this is a nation. And we call it the greatest nation on the planet. There are borders to nations. I don't think borders should be breached by anybody. What's the point of having them? If anybody can come into your house, why do you have a lock?
I guess I'm just confused about the nature of this conversation because part of me is wondering, I mean, I love America. It helped me build everything that I have in life, and I'm going to continue to build between America and Africa. But I'm wondering, are we Africans or are we Americans today? Because it feels like sometimes I come on your channel, Dynast, and it's like you are that Atlanta brother, a straight up African American. And then other days it's like Dynast, the Temni from Sierra Leone. And then other days
I'm not Timney. I'm Mindy.
Mindy. Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Here's the thing. Why can't we be both African and American? Because America's a country and Africa's a continent. So why can't we be both?
I'm not saying that you can't be that, and I'm not even implying. I'm just asking, you know, I understand that we are here, we're trying to do the best that we can to bridge the gap between Africa and America, but at the same time, what does the Native Americans got to do with us? If they want their fucking land back, give it back to them. Like, y'all niggas.
Well, that's not gonna happen. But you know what,
that's a good point. Because I'm sitting right here in Nigeria and it's chill. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand it. Do we want to be in Africa or do we want to stay in America? I mean, if you want to stay in America, I get the perspective and why this conversation is important. To me, I don't think about one day do I think about a Native American, like never.
We're just having a general conversation.
Well, I would say that economically, as African Americans, we should be concerned about the borders of the United States because that affects our ability to make money. But the issue that I have with Trump is he needs to be a little bit more tactful in the way that he negotiates this whole moving people or transporting people out of the United States and when they're considered native to this land. Because hold
on. Who's considered native to this land that he's kicking out the country? He can't do that.
Well, the Native Americans are considered native to this land.
The who?
The Native Americans.
Native means anyone born on the soil is native.
Right. So I'm talking about indigenous to this land. Okay. So
right. So who's indigenous?
Americans.
But we have emerging evidence that Native Americans aren't actually even indigenous to this land. The first people to colonize the Americas, they actually went to South America first. Then they made their way up. And when they made their way up, they met people coming over the Bering Strait. So scientific theories, they evolve as our understanding of science evolves. So
but is that
so what is it? Are they native or indigenous to this land? Or
but Sam, I'm confused. Who is Donald Trump deporting that's indigenous to the borders of the United States of America? That's where I'm confused.
Well, I'm saying that you know that Texas, parts of Texas it has Latino names. Los Angeles, we all know
all that's gone. All that's gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. They lost it, and they lost in the war. It's gone.
Mexicans are not Native Americans. Mexicans are an amalgamation of natives, Spaniards, and African slaves. So that's a mixture. They're not Native Americans, brother.
So you're a mixture too. You have white in you, don't you?
That indeed, I am a mixture.
We realize that, but we were born here in the borders of the United States of America.
What I'm trying to say is if you have to recall that it just passed that it was Martin Luther King Day just a few days ago on Inauguration Day, and we recall that the way that Martin Luther King won or helped us win the civil rights actions is by using a tactic that he learned from Gandhi. And because we can't, fight a power bigger than ours, we had to use nonviolence, that by standing up for what we believe in, but we're not fighting a power bigger than us. And by doing so, it made the rest of the world look at the United States of America as being a villain. You know what I'm saying? So they had to acquiesce to our demands based on us doing, because they had to keep up their image to the rest of the world. So
it had nothing to do with the radical Negroes either.
The United States can't come off as a villain, as this big vicious enemy to humanity by being untactful in the way that they deal with this situation.
They were untactful letting them in the country. There's millions of people that have come into the country over the last 4 years, and now it's starting to put pressure on Black people in their communities. So why do we have to be tactical getting them up out of here?
Tactful. Because at the end of the day, the rest of the world really don't care about black people, but they care about America, and they believe that America is supposed to be the good guy, and we could call on the United States for help if they need it. But if
But why
you
do you,
start portraying yourself as this big monster to the rest of the world, they're going to go to China or they're going to go to Russia for help, and that's what they're starting to do. So the
Too
thing
little,
is,
too late.
with China, huh?
Too little,
So the
too
thing is,
late.
Trump is putting a bad image on the United States, which is going to devalue our dollar in the long term.
Oh man, that's not true.
That fear mongering talk, man.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
that's
god.
just here. Let me pass the Prince P and Law. Prince P and Law. Unmute yourself.
Hey, what's up, bro? How you feeling, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I basically wanted to tap in because I feel like the perspective was kind of like skewed to the left. I mean, or at least too far to the right. Um, as a person in the middle, I'm an independent. I voted for Trump, but again, most people who uh, looked at immigration, we looked at immigration from a standard of people who came illegally, people who's doing crime, stuff like that. We don't mind, on average, I'm not gonna say everybody, them getting deported, but what I noticed is that Trump is snatching up random people, or at least their race.
There's a baby in the background like disturbing
Yeah,
you.
it's my daughter. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me. All right.
Disto Latam. Go ahead. Unmute yourself. Did so.
Yeah, gotcha.
Go
All
ahead.
right, thank you so much. Okay, so in the line of this conversation, first, matters of who are the indigenous in the Western Hemisphere. All the indigenous that were here prior to the arrival of the Europeans, all the way from Argentina up to Canada, plus the Caribbean. Mexicans have a mixture, and also they are monoparental indigenous who survived throughout the era of colonization. So
Right. So we're speaking on the what is present day United States of America.
yeah, and I wanted to mention that that was before the thing. Right now, the reality in matters of United States being seen as the bad guy. Let's be sincere. Simón Bolívar, the great liberator of Venezuela, once said that the United States seems destined by Providence to plague America with misery in name of liberty. And in the last 200 years, 250 years, this has shown to be true in many ways. And one of the major aspects modernly is the impact of the war on drugs and how the war on drugs made in the United States and convinced through the United Nations, particularly in 3 international courts, have generated the effects of what is today happening in irregular migration, aka what you guys call up there illegal migration. One of the major tenets as to why people are fleeing in Latin America, and as well as those Africans that have come over here, is directly caused by the impacts of the war on drugs in each of our regions. That's a matter of fact that I could go over the numbers, I could go over the facts.
What you're saying is that the war on drugs has basically squashed like an industry where people had many jobs. Is that what you're trying to imply?
One of the major roles that plays the war on drugs is aggravating the conditions of economic, political, and social instability that could be happening in different regions, especially here in Latin America.
I understand the big words, like it's late over here in Nigeria. It's like 12:59 a.m. I understand like the way you're speaking. I get that. What I'm asking is just a more direct question. Like, can you give us some more straight to the point examples of what you're trying to illustrate here by reading all of that to us, so we can get down to the nitty gritty of the conversation and what you're trying to imply?
Okay, so in very simple terms, one of the major reasons why we see aka illegal migration happening to the United States is because of United States foreign policy.
Okay.
Now, that being said, I think it's also very important to the note that that plays a major role, as well as internal conflicts that can happen. You know, we could talk about the exodus of Venezuelans. 8 million people left Venezuela in the last 25 years. 80% of those never chose United States as their first destination. 80% of those stayed in countries near Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, etc.
Trinidadian, and there's so many Venezuelans in Trinidad right now. She told me that I wouldn't believe how many is there in Trinidad, because I used to be in it all the time. I would be very surprised to see Venezuelans in the Caribbean like that. So what do you? So what you're saying is everyone else must pay the debt for Venezuela.
Can I hold on. Can I tap in real quick? The Petro Caribbean, right? There was something called the Petro Caribbean, which offered cheap gas to the whole region, the Caribbean as well as the Latin America. I think America basically put sanctions on Venezuela, which created increase in poverty. There's also an increase in weapons in the Caribbean as well, right? So those things create instability in Haiti and parts
I
of
get that.
Trinidad, Jamaica, South America.
I get that, Mr. Princip, but I'll tell you right here there are so many West Indians living out here in West Africa. You know, Jamaicans, Trinis, Bajans, just living out here. So what I'm trying to ask all of you is, on this Pan-African channel, or if, I don't know if that's still what you do, Dinus, I'm trying to understand what this got to do with us, because we got Africa. We don't need it. We can leave you if you want to go war with the white man and take your land back. We don't need it. I'm trying to understand, what is we doing? Can someone explain?
We're having a conversation, Jackie. You're more
No, and that's my conversation. That's my input to the conversation.
Jackie, can I ask you something?
Please don't call me Jackie. You haven't earned the right. I don't even know what your face look like.
Black Beauty,
please
Black
stop
Beauty. In that sense, can I ask you something in this respect?
Of course, you can ask me whatever you'd like.
Okay, so I do not know your origin or where you're from.
Can you answer my question first? And before you ask me yours, can you answer mine?
Okay, what was your question? Can you please rephrase it?
Because my question is, what does us Black, Afro, Caribbean, African, Jamaican, Afro people got to do with that? Haitian people got to do with that? Even Panamanian people, what we got to do with that? What does we have to do? What does us Trinidadian people got to do with that? Bayesian people got to do with that? Nigerian people?
Can I answer?
These people got to
hold on. She's asking me.
What does Ghanaian people got to do with that?
Okay.
Sierra Leone people got to do
first,
with that? You have your land back. What I'm saying, sir.
As a Afro,
why are you over here trying to defend? Why is we over here trying to defend these white men? If they want to take these people's land, let them deal with these people and let us come back home and develop what is rightfully ours. Ain't nobody keeping us from Africa. I did here. I'm sitting right here. I don't understand all of you people.
Not my mess.
Conversation.
Let me answer your question in that sense. First, it has everything to do with us because the impacts, economic, social, and political impacts here in the Western Hemisphere are directly suffered by the indigenous and Afro communities of our respective areas. We're the ones who are suffering most the impacts of the foreign policy of the United States towards our area, adding into the internal problems of each of our countries. That's the first thing. Second, let's be realistic in the point of conversation in matters of the Western Hemisphere. The African descendants of slavery here, who are born here, some are able to fly out, to migrate out, and some go back to Africa. But after the period of 500 years, and particularly in the last 200 to 250 years after the process of independence to today, it's difficult not to understand that those economic, social, and political impacts that are directly suffered by those communities in the Western Hemisphere make it even farther impossible.
I don't mean to interrupt you, sir, but I think there's a lot of rhetoric out here, and we have to be very careful as people who put ourselves out there to be progressive Black people, because these people will sit here and try to make us feel like we are fighting a fight with them to keep this American land. Like, it's so difficult for us back home in our countries. Like, we can't take some of our money and invest it the same way people have been investing in China and Singapore and Malaysia. Like, we can do the same thing. They will try to make us feel like the economic pressures that are happening to them in Venezuela is our problem. Like, we got to put ourselves on their back for us to have something in this America that we built, right? In the America that we built. But at the end of the day, let them build it again. The thing is coming down. Let them come take their land, let them build it again, and let us take our energy back to Africa and work over here and work to build what we're doing over here. There's no point in fighting over people about their own land. Let them have their own land. Come here, bring your money here, or just continue to invest in America's establishment until it's no more. And then take your investments out and go where you want to go. Because I believe Black people have the right to go in anybody's country, because we was the first on this whole planet. So we could be sitting in Mexico.
I respect it, but I kind of disagree.
Sit there too. So it is what it is. Thank you. That's my submission.
I hear you, but I kind of get where Trump is coming from to a small degree in terms of illegal immigration and criminals. But from a standpoint of the average immigrant who have their documents, I heard some of them are getting round up and stuff like that. And that's why I think the topic is probably. That's what I heard, man. I heard about it in Newark. I heard about there's raids going on in Boston and all these kind of places. So for me, it's like, okay, are you trying to deport the illegals and the criminals, or are you trying to deport whoever, regardless of
fearmonger?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what's being said. And what I don't know her name, Black Beauty. I think he spoke. I'm Haitian, but to his
I'm not
to
going
his
back
point.
to Haiti.
I like that dude, man. But he was a criminal. He was a criminal here, though. I mean,
I'm not going back to Haiti. Like my brother.
Yeah, that guy. I don't.
Donald Trump.
It's not like the.
Nah, but you have to understand that guy was doing. He was robbing and stealing and doing all types of crimes. Him, like I said, I don't mind.
Man, he did whatever they said he did.
Like I said, he's a crook. I'm talking about the common person going to work day to day, people's aunties, cousins, whatever. Those are the individuals I called and concerned about, not really that guy. I don't give a fuck about that guy.
The people that are going to work.
Black Beauty point.
Did they cross over illegally or did they cross over legally? Because that's what we.
Most of them have like I'm talking about the people who have TPS papers. The people who have actual documentations. I heard some of them are their paperwork is getting disregarded. That's what I'm concerned about. But to Black Beauty point, I agree with her to a certain degree. But again, certain people are already having like families, etc. Here, they've been here for 5 years, 10 years. They have documentation. That's who I'm like. That's what I'm concerned about with the guy from South America. He's talking about certain things that do exist, and even if we all go back to our countries, some of the regional instabilities that is caused by some of the things America have done in the long term, not necessarily Donald Trump, but before Donald Trump, in terms of attacking the petrol oil trade of Petro Caribbean that existed, the embargoes they have in Cuba, the regional embargoes they have. The arms trade, the illegal arms trade that's going on is stifling and increasing crime rates throughout the Caribbean and the Latin Americas. I haven't heard Trump talk about dealing with those things because people can go back. I already hear Colombia having trade deals with Africa. I think the vice president is a Black woman. She went to Kenya. There's different regional things that's going on in terms of the Caribbean and Africa, South America and Africa. I think the president of Benin, he went to Brazil. The one of the spiritual leaders of Yoruba land and Angola went down to Brazil as well. So there's different exchanges that's going on. African Americans. So we understand that those things are already happening. We're talking about those who choose to stay, or those who even choose to stay in this regional. How would they, how does it look in a Trump world? You know what I mean? Especially with the BRICS on the horizon. People overlook BRICS is on the horizon. So how do you guys feel that's going to, especially with some of these nations, they might flip from America to BRICS if Trump is just going to be a tyrant? I mean, do you think his diplomacy method is actually
he's not a tyrant?
America?
He's not a tyrant. He's not a tyrant at all.
Well, we can debate on that. But Black Beauty, I'm confused in regards to your point. Are you saying that the those of us who have African descendancy of slavery here in the Western Hemisphere should all return to Africa? Is that how I should understand your point?
You talking to me or are you talking to Black Beauty?
Black Beauty, Black Beauty.
I don't think I ever made that point or even suggested it.
No, that's why I'm asking you. Your point has been a bit confusing. It has been too broad, and
I mean, I'm looking at the chat, and
I'm
several
pretty clear
people
on
in
your
the
point,
chat,
Black
it's
Beauty.
very clear, right, Vanessa? It's quite clear. Quite a few people.
I think she's saying
I'm pretty
that
clear on
black,
it.
to a certain
Black
degree,
Beauty,
there's
what do you?
more options available for black descended
Thank
people
you.
globally,
Perfect.
especially
You
Africa.
got it. Boom,
But
boom, boom. You got it.
that's why I think
Perfect.
that's her main point. But I think you're trying to argue that you somewhat have a right to be here due to the fact of regional instability that's caused by Americans' political, economic policies, right? Am I right? So you guys are making two different arguments, but her argument is quite fair. But there's individuals want to remain in the region and just partner with Africa, etc. How would
I
they
think it
last
can
in
be
America? That's my
Okay,
question. Like,
that's what I'm trying to say, Prince. If it can be done, like for example, we all own homes, right, and own something in the state. Whether we're here contributing and in the states investing, I mean, things can work where you're between both continents. The Asian people do it all the time. Chinese and Korean people do it all the time. So what is the difference? I'm not saying you have to leave anything behind. I believe in collecting all bags. Okay, so collect every bag in every currency possible. That's how I feel. So if we have options to do business in other places and put ourselves physically in another place while America tries to figure out what they want to do, I think we should do that and stop fighting with these people about them land. That's it.
Guys, links in the chat room. Links in the chat room. If you're gonna call in after the conversation, please click on the link again. If you're gonna call in after the conversation, please click on the link. Go ahead. Somebody was saying something.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay, thank you for the clarification, Black Beauty. I understand where you're coming from. However, I consider that the point that you're trying to give across is extremely utopian, because we have to then, I would argue that in reality, um, the importance of identity, the understanding of identity, and particularly here in the Western Hemisphere, is very attached to the historical reality and what that historical reality has given up to today. So, look, I've worked.
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Let him finish. Let him finish, please. Go ahead.
What I was just going to say is I've worked. I'm 43 years old. I've worked 25 years in matters of Afro and indigenous communities. Yes, mostly focused in one particular area, which is the Central American area, but as well as Caribbean and South American. And one thing that I have learned throughout.
So we studied the same program. We did the same program, except I concentrated on West Africa.
All right, let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead.
So just to finish on that, my experience in regards to the Western Hemisphere in matters of Afro and indigenous communities is that we can't, and most of us won't leave, because even if we understand that we in our veins have the blood of descendancy of slavery, we're now from here. We're the people that are today, the 150 million Afro descendancy of slavery in Latin America, plus the 47 million in the United States, plus the 1.1 million in Canada. Over 200 million people are of African descent, either monoparental or mixed.
And there was a Colombian in my gym last week checking my ass out too. And then he started speaking Spanish and I spoke back to him. And I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "Nueva York." And I knew that. But then I said, "Where are you from?" "De Colombia." Of course. But where did he come to? He came to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. So what I'm saying is we understand where our genes come from. Okay, we're going to stop playing games like we care about America that much. We want to get our bag. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we're not going to, sit here. At least I know I'm not. I can't speak for every Black American person, but I'll be damned if I sit there and try to fight over somebody else's land when there's other options available.
In my case, I'm a mixture of African descendants of slavery and indigenous. So,
Okay, so buena suerte.
aquí continúo luchando por lo que es mío, pues.
Está bien.
Okay. All right. ¿Cómo está? Bien.
I don't know what y'all just said, but como te llamas?
Me llamo Diners. All right, guys. Links in the chat room if you want to call in.
Might ask a question.
Go ahead.
To the South American brother, do you believe that illegal immigration is supposed to be feasible due to the fact that the situation, or you just say that the regional issues may be a reason for some kind of temporary status? Because I feel like illegal immigration is a no. But I understand it, but it's still it's not good for any nation. So, but what is your perspective?
One, I want to be very clear. The so-called illegal immigration, aka irregular migration, is something that affects us all. Obviously, our different countries, we don't want people having to leave their homelands to then migrate to the United States for all the implications. But we understand why that is happening and why irregular migration has had those different spikes. In fact, it had lowered by the end of presidency of Biden and the efforts throughout the last 2 years between the Biden administration and the different administrations in Central and Caribbean, that those efforts started lowering the incidence of irregular or undocumented migration towards the United States. So the problem resides in why is there such a high degree of displacement happening?
I'm so messed up when I say this too, right? When I say this one, I know I'm gonna sound messed up. But when you say the Caribbean and when I say the Caribbean, we're saying two different things. We're talking about two different bodies of people. You know that, right?
Yes. That's why I made the distinction.
Because your Caribbean is not my Caribbean. Because on Eastern Parkway, when they put them flags up, certain flags don't go up. You know that, right?
Yes, I'm fully aware of that sense, and I know the realities within the Caribbean communities.
That too. We talk about that. Me and my girlfriend, we talk about that all the time. My God. Okay. How these Dominicans think they with us. We Trini and Jamaican. You matter what. You're not with us. Look, I'm sorry. Lo siento.
Look, I in the ethnical conflicts due to perception and due to the different conflicts that may have happened in the last 200 years of independences throughout Caribbean. That is something that the Caribbean communities have to work out and continuously work out. Just in the same way, the Central Americans, we work out our particular issues. But the reason why the CELAC, the main body of political representation, includes the Caribbean, because Caribbean, that whole area of over 700 islands, including some will discuss it, Bahamas or not, as part of the Caribbean.
I have to correct you, because when I was at the Ikoyi Club and I saw the tent where the rich African men are signing up, you know, like Mike Adenika and them, to get them passports for CARICOM. CARICOM only covers the French and English-speaking Caribbean. It does not cover the Caribbean you're referencing. CARICOM is the islands that we Black call the islands. It don't have Curacao, for example. That's not in it. Barbados is day. Trini is day. Jamaica day. It did day. You understand?
No, but isn't Cuba in it as well? Cuba is part of CARICOM.
Cuba's
they're
Black.
Latin.
Cuba's Black.
Yeah, majority of Cuba is still Black. Yeah.
And I understand that. I know the realities. In fact, next month is the 48th regular meeting of CARICOM, and I'll be there as part of the civil representation in that sense. I've been in several of the CARICOM, and I know that right now the chair of CARICOM is mi amor, the minister of Barbados, and Secretary General is.
What is Barbados?
Huh?
What is Barbados?
Barbados.
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 I mean,
Sorry,
tomato.
it was a Spanglish. I think you can accept that it was a Spanglish that came out. Barbados.
I don't know one person from Barbados that speak that. They don't speak Spanish in Barbados.
Yeah,
and every person I know from Barbados, including every single person I know so many. I used to hang out with so many Bayesian gal. They don't refer to themselves Barbados. Let's stop trying to make things sound more exotic because you speak Spanish.
Look, no. I think you can excuse the fact that Spanglish came across. I know that in English is Barbados. However, 99% of the time when I'm talking about Barbados, I'm talking in Spanish. So out of habit, I said Barbados.
I think that's Black Beauty's point. I think that's her point right there.
So I understand your point. Yeah, I understand your point, Black Beauty, but I think you can excuse the slip of the tongue due to the circumstances I am explaining in that sense. However, what I'm saying is as follows. Look, did we or did we not, the CELAC and alongside CARICOM, go to Belgium, Brussels, with the first annual meeting with the European unions? And did we or did we not, as a full body community, demand reparations for the Atlantic slave trade? Did we or did we not continuously are incrementing the efforts to open more the trade between us, to open up and our political and social relations in the last 200 years? So what I'm saying to you, what I'm saying to the panel is that in the case of Latin American Caribbean, we understand the social historical differences as well as the social and historical things that are similar between each other. But to focus just on that, it then enables the continuing of bickering that is senseless and that only feeds the powers to be that want separation. I am of the inclination that we have to evolve from that. So clearing that point and going back to the question of alien royalty that was asking me. So in this matter of illegal migration, aka also undocumented or irregular migration. So identifying the causes why those displacements are happening is what we've been telling the United States for the past 25 years. And since the Bush administration, we've had multiple opportunities to avoid and minimize that displacement of people that causes then the irregular migration. I have personally taken dead bodies out of the Darien Gap as well as up on north on the river crossings through Texas. I've had in my hands a body of a 10-year-old who died.
Go through that, and I don't want that for my Black brothers. So I'm telling them, rather than waste their time, they'll take your energy and your money somewhere else, a Black place.
Honestly, I don't care about no kids that's dying that ain't mine.
Well, I'm sorry of that lack of empathy and Black baby. I get your point.
I'm sorry that you care.
No, I'm saying that I'm sorry that you do not have that empathy for
Yeah,
another
and I'm
human
No,
sorry
being.
that you care
I
because I
can't.
can't
I
imagine
can't.
caring and not being able to do anything.
Hey
There's
guys,
so many people.
let me pass the mic to
Go
Kedoy
ahead.
Glay. Unmute yourself, Kedoy.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Well, so yeah, I was just watching the video and I saw the title of it. But what I want to say to this is, you know, it is about time that we reach a point where we draw the line to understand one or two things. And one of the major things that I would like for all to understand is this. The issue of people trying to lie on their identity in the Americas is a serious issue. And most of the people that do those things are people who know the truth, but they are hiding the truth to and they want to deceive others to join them in what they are doing. So what we need to do is one thing there's something I taught on thoroughly. I got to understand the truth about it. And I'm a Christian. One thing I got to learn, apart from the Bible, even other, even check Chinese, some wise Chinese quotes and other things. One thing there is this: just light and darkness don't mix together. So what happened in a society whenever you see a certain group of people want to come together for a certain reason or for a particular change, those people who think the same way or those people who have similar way of thinking, they usually come together. And those who are thinking on the negative side and don't want to change or don't want to be a part of that, they be left aside. That's how things go. Like that's how the world goes. Like you always in a given environment, everywhere you go in this world, you always see people who are on the positive and on the negative. So what I encourage is those who want to go towards the truth, to go to know their roots and to unite with their African brothers and sisters. They should come together. The African brothers in Africa. I live in Africa right now. Right now, I'm schooling in Nigeria. Right now, I live in Ogun State, and I will tell you that I don't think there is anywhere in Africa that you go to that. In fact, African people are very welcoming, even to foreigners. Before I even say their own people,
Very.
and in there's very very welcoming. There's this situation where because I'm a Liberian, right? There was a man of a certain ethnic group in Liberia. He left and went to Ivory Coast, and that ethnic group is in Ivory Coast. So when he went to Ivory Coast, one of the young men there, because the man was there, he was and people working. One of the young men there was complaining how the man they gave him a big position in the town, and the man is a foreigner. So the elders of the town came together and they told people to grab that young man. I was talking to the man like that. They grabbed the man, they tied the man with rope, and they told the Liberian man, they say you want anything you want to do to him, do it to him. So the Liberian man just begged the elders, say, I beg you, please leave the man alone. You're just leaving. The elders say, no, you want you to do anything you want to do to him, whether you want to beat him with stick or you want us to go and do whatsoever punishment you want us to do to him. So they left him. Just the extent of, and the people then the elders say that this man is our brother. It was the white people that came and divided this place. But this man, regardless of us speaking French, we have the same ethnic group. Nobody should talk. The next time anybody in the town try this again, you guys will see what we'll do to you. For that time, nobody did it. And that is an example to make you understand that Africans are willing. The only problem, the only thing where, whenever you see that the people with the problem are not Africans, I can always say the Africans are not the problem. The only problem there is people who are not willing to come, people who are not willing. And everybody, or every black person here in America, I guarantee you, deep down in our subconscious mind, they know that they are from Africa. First of all, because
I'm
even if
African,
you,
my brother.
yes, yes, and even if you look at all of the dark skinned people around the world, you look at people from the Pacific, you look at people from Asia. Let me tell you, if you take an African elephant and you carry the African elephant to Asia, that elephant born a lot of children in that place. And scientists leave from here and go to Asia. When the scientists look at the African elephants that multiply in Asia and see the African elephant is an Asian elephant, no. Regardless of living in Asia all along, the scientists will know that there's even a physical difference. That's just how there's physical difference among black people around dark skinned people around the world. When you go to Asia, you can see that the Asian dark skinned people, they look different from the dark skinned people in Africa. You can know it's very visible.
And yesterday, pictures of some Aboriginal people from Australia that were dark skinned, but they don't look like us.
Yeah, they don't look like Africans, but
They definitely don't, but they
when you
still
go
my
to
people.
when you go to the Americas and you see the black people that are in South America, North America, in the United States, in Canada, in the Caribbean, nobody have to tell you that they are your brothers and sisters. The moment you see them, in fact, especially West Africans relate to that. In fact, when we're watching Black American movies or watching Black Brazilian movies, sometimes we can look at the people that just like our own brothers and sisters. There's no difference. There's in fact, there's this man Tyler Perry. He's my mother usually say that that he's her brother because Tyler Perry look like one of my uncles. They look alike, no difference. And there's no those things we see those things, but those people they know it. But we need to put value to our African nationality. That one thing I learned is when you don't have value to something, people can value it. If you keep running behind something like running behind people to go for to take something that is very valuable, the people will look at that thing like it's not valuable. So what we need to do is since light and darkness cannot come together, let's the number one thing I guarantee you it is not possible. It's not possible for light and darkness to come together. So every African that in the diaspora and on the continent that is having that light mentality, they should unite. The issue of both saying Africans and the diaspora are not united is not true. We are already united because those who want to unite are uniting, and these are the lights. Let the darkness stay away and let the light unite. And when the light unite, there will be a great change that will occur.
So Africans are on the
Yeah,
light side or the dark side? I'm confused.
And I
when I
got a
say
little
the light.
pushback on that because
I said Africans. When I say lifestyle, I mean the truth. That's what I mean when I say lifestyle. When I say people who are on the dark side, I mean people who don't want to accept the truth. For example, a black person in the diaspora who know that they are Afro descendant, but they are lying saying that they are Indian.
All right,
you know
cool,
you're gonna
guys.
have people like that everywhere.
Yeah, go ahead, Castro. Then we're gonna close out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're gonna have people like that everywhere. You got people in Africa who say they Arab and they not African and they blacker than me. So it's the same difference over here in America. I do got one little pushback on what my brother said about the Australians over there, the Aborigines over there. I identify those as my brothers and sisters too because they share a common history as we do. They've been oppressed just like we have. Now they may not look like us because they carry different genomes and different DNA sequences. Their makeup is different. However, they went through just what we went through. They had a whole history of what they call the Black Wars. So if you want to look into that so you can reconnect with those people, I would advise you to do that. But as far as I'm concerned, people of the Solomon Islands, people of the South Pacific, people of Aboriginal Australia, Papua New Guinea, they're my people.
I agree with the Kashta in that sense. He's right. And Alien Royalty, I hope I answered your question. Was I clear enough in answering your question?
I didn't ask a question. What
Who was
question were you
the
asking?
who was the person who asked me about the AK legal migration and
Oh, that was me. That was me. Proceed.
oh Prince? I'm sorry, I confused you. Sorry, Alien, I confused. Prince, I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, like I said, I understand that, but I get where you're coming from because there's a lot of regional issues that a lot of like I would say American African American black or regular white American blacks they don't sometimes concern themselves about, but it affects the region. You know what I mean? Some of the regional policies, uh, uh, gun policies, etc. Those things affect the region, but so, on average, the average American only look at what's going on in America and not what's going on in the region. You know what I mean? And so I feel I have some, empathy towards those who are dying in the jungles, crossing through the jungles. But my thing is like we have to find ways to minimize illegal immigration as America, but also increase wealth in the Americas, the Caribbeans, etc., for there to be less illegal migrations as well. So I agree with you on that.
And I wish that could happen, but look, after 25 years of working on this thing, Bush administration, Obama administration, Trump administration, Biden administration, I Look, I'll be honest. Gringos don't want to fucking solve this issue. And they bitch and moan about it. Look, they say, oh, look at all the criminals they're sending. Dude, North Americans are also sending criminals to our countries. Look at the case last year with Timothy Livingston in Colombia, a pedophile who was captured, who escaped and now went back to Utah. You know, and the fact of the matter is that residents or U.S. citizens who migrate outside, some are also criminals, and they're coming to Asia, they're coming to Latin America, they're coming to Africa. So it's not like we are the ones consciously sending people who may have criminal records only to the United States. And yes, Prince, we have to work on this. But the problem is, for the past 30, 25, 30 years, we've been telling the United States repeatedly what the problems are. And we've gone, I don't know, 6, 7 administrations.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, man. It's just a common thing. They basically try to over imply that there's only criminals coming, etc., which is for the political cycle for the most part, but on average, it defeats the overall issue because you know what I mean. People still going to come, as well as a lot of crime is still going to happen in those regions. You know what I mean? So in many ways, even with the main point of which Dynasty is talking about, when he's talking about, relax, mama. When he's talking about the people saying that people are coming here for the because this was originally Native American land, that may be true, but the average person is coming here for the dollar. They're coming here to increase dollars to go back and try to do or send money back for their nation. If America tries to actually allow for wealth to circulate better in America, more people stay in their own regions. You see what I'm saying? They don't really get that.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.